So, as you may notice, this is the scrap mechanic. This is Trailmakers. So yeah, today's video is going to be in Trailmakers. As it's just a bit of a change as I play scrap mechanic a lot and I haven't had an update in a while. I probably will be going back to scrap mechanic next video, but anyway. As you can probably see by the title, we're making a piston engine. Now, Trailmakers is like scrap mechanic, but also very different. It does have pistons, and it does, well, yeah, you can make cars, you can make flying things, you can make planes, you can make helicopters, you can make anything. Now, I do like Trailmakers because you can make anything, but one of the weirder things is, well, making a piston engine. It's just not something that's meant to be done so much in Trailmakers, as like, it does not work as well as in scrap mechanic. But anyway, let's get into this. Now for the piston engine, we're gonna obviously use pistons and also these rotating servos with 0% strength on, so they're basically just free floating bearings like scrap mechanic. Now you can see if we pull the pistons back, it rotates. Now we can't do anything else, but it does rotate. Now I came with, well, quite a few problems here, as this currently only has currently only had one, well, piston basically. Now I've added 3, but there's a main problem is that they're all in the same orientation, which won't change much apart from making it slightly powerful. But currently this can't turn, which is not the best. So I just need to fix this. Now, this is meant to give an offset to the pistons, but it did not. As you can see, they're all at the same offset. Now, I did have an idea to fix this, so I just carried on, but nothing really helped. The problem is we basically got, well, having too much free floating bearings basically made it not work, and since it just kind of rotates when it's not meant to. And as you can see, all it does is move up and down. Now, one thing to say is that bearings are definitely not as solid as in scrap mechanics, so they can do weird things and stretch a lot more, and like, which might become a problem eventually. But anyway, so my next idea is to use helicopter engines. Now these are basic bearings, but the inside of it, well, spins about the outside. So basically, we can just kind of it's hard to explain, but basically we can have the piston connected to the outside one, and the middle bit that connects to the actual offset bit will actually change it this direction. And as you can see, there's an actual offset, which is quite good. Now we're going to have to automate this eventually, but as you see, there is an offset. Now automating this is not going to be fun. It's probably one of the worst parts. But anyway, now currently I don't know how I'm actually going to do this piston engine, but it's more the point of making it. As you can see, it starts to rotate, it doesn't really work amazingly. It actually works okay, it's just very, very slow. That should be fixed by just adding more pistons, like most things. Now the main point coming is that this system is very flawed and it probably will never work, so I definitely need to work on, well, the actual automatic system for actually, well, activating the pistons at the right time. As it kind of works, like half rotation, and it stops working. So this is what I did now. I basically just put them on the end, and it actually works. Now it's not consistent, it definitely needs to be changed. As you see, it kind of like impulses, but that's obviously not the best. But it actually does rotate, and that's at the start. Now you also notice that I have a kind of massive base of blocks, which are actually weight blocks, so this thing weighs around more than 1 ton. But anyway, if you get rid of that, then you can just start turning madly, because helicopter engines, usually when you use them properly, they usually make loads of torque, and basically, even if I just rotate them without actually properly like rotating them, they still create a lot of torque. Now this is going to be a problem, so we're not going to deal with that now, and just, well, have a massive block of weights to deal with torque. Now this thing weighs 7 tons, so it's very, very easy. I tried to make it, well, I tried to get more pistons, make it slightly more, well, reliable, and then suddenly the sound cut out for some reason. But as you can see, it's pretty reliable at the moment. It turned pretty well. But 8 pistons is quite a lot, so I might try to cut it down on that later on in the video, but it doesn't really matter for now, I'd say. But anyway, I added some helicopter blades onto it, so see if you can push it forwards, and some wheels obviously. No, it didn't. But this is probably mostly due to the fact that this thing weighs 7 tons. And got the blades do not produce loads of speed or like thrust. So especially when they're not probably not spinning at their maximum capacity because the engine's not that fast. But anyway, I got two of these since my first idea for reducing the torque they make is basically just have two counter-rotating engines because then they'll counter-rotate and just cancel each other out, cancel each other's torque out. Now one thing I want to say is the string's currently very messy and it probably will be for the duration of this video. This thing's not meant to look good, it's meant to be more of a challenge to make. But anyway. Now currently this engine does not counter-rotate, so obviously we need to do that, but yeah. But does this idea work? Kinda, not really well. One of the engines, it does counter-rotate, I programmed that in, but it obviously not as well as one of the counter-rotating engines is not as good as the other one, so it does turn, and also it makes an awful sound. Can I go through it further? Yeah, due to the talking when the engine's not on. Now this is where Trailmakers doesn't get weird, but Trailmakers has quite a lot more like randomly created torque, but it doesn't really matter. I've also tried working on gears because I thought gears would do a good thing to make, but it didn't work. I thought gears were used for like transferring rotation, but anyway, I use these things called I can't remember. I think they're called stabilizers or something, but basically what they do is just keep stuff right. I just see it work, and we're also counter-rotating engines, but we're going very fast right now, 50 miles per hour. Obviously that isn't very fast, we probably go faster if we actually hook these up to wheels, but that'd be a lot more air. This is also cool though, so I think we could also make some sort of fly thing with this. A plane or a helicopter would make more sense, but a plane would also be cooler. But anyway, that doesn't really matter right now. So I added some aerodynamics and added some lighter blocks to make this thing lighter. For some reason it did not want to work, but then I turned it into a plane or flight. Now, we're still using the same engine, I just added a little wing and some skis so it could easily slide on all things. But for some reason it also made it so it always went forwards, no matter if you had the engines on or off. Because the aerodynamics aren't very good. So one thing Trailmakers has that scrap mechanic doesn't, aerodynamics. But we don't really care about those, either it doesn't or it does. I don't think aerodynamics are actually going to help too much. But anyway. As you can see, we actually started flying. I basically just added more wings, and it does have controls. It has roll and pitch controls. The main thing is that for some reason one engine is still producing more torque than the other, even though, or at least the engines are producing too much torque in one direction. I just flipped over. It's also very light, and it's got a lot of wings, like a bit too many. So you can see if we launch with this catapult, it basically doesn't go that far just because the wings just stop it. And also it just unbearably tries to roll a little bit, which just isn't very good. And if I was looking at a helicopter generally just, it'd be more simple. As realistic, if we had two counter-rotating engines, they just counter-rotate and it'd be fine. That's not how this works at all. As you can see, the helicopter blades are on the wrong side, so they basically started just pushing us into the ground. But so if we flip them around, maybe we'll get some air. I don't know. I highly doubt it. I'm sure I'll be able to come up with one thing. One of the reasons that one end is probably producing more torque is that they're not exactly mirrored, really, because one engine is basically programmed to the other one to make it spin in different directions. Which is probably why this is happening, because there's a slight difference. But anyway. When I added all these propellers on the back, which kind of got rid of the point of like, making the actual main blade powered by a piston engine. But basically what it's meant to do is just basically kind of like just turn based on where the torque, and what I mean is basically like try and like stabilize you if you try turning one way and stuff. But that didn't work very well. As generally, this engine wasn't just creating torque on like the roll axis or the yaw axis. It was just making torque in every direction possible. It's just made it kind of hard to stabilize. Now the system did work relatively well on the y-axis rotation, but not really any other axes, so it wasn't insanely good. So I started running out of ideas, because basically the problem is I can't really make a two engines that can rotate the spin at the exact same speed, that'd be a bit too hard. Now, I then go this thing, which is basically has the same engine that flips upside down, which basically makes it counter-rotate while being the exact same, basically. So yeah, as you see, it's not doing very well at the moment. That's because it's not connected properly. So on the engine, they kind of freely spin each other. But now it kind of works. It doesn't break for some reason because Trailmakers has destruction physics, and I'm pretty sure that's just. But we also can't. Well, yeah, it adds some control between tails, but not really too much. So I'm going to add these things called gyros, which basically just let you turn easier. And well, just let you turn basically without really doing much. And as you see, you can fly. Now this is, we're flying completely on piston power and steering on gyro power basically, we look at it. This is pretty cool. It flies okay, but sometimes it just randomly turns in mid-air as, yeah, so it's not the best. But it works, and that's what matters. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. Trailmakers is a bit different to Scrap Mechanic, but I quite enjoy it and I like to do some more with it. You can see that. Bye.